coffee and today's guest here with me, so we're ready to roll. I'm Michael Hanf, Executive Partner at textile Advisory. Welcome to our Circular Coffee Break podcast, where we will be casually talking about everything circular and beyond. We hope the podcast is interesting, insightful, and provides new perspectives for you. But if you have any feedback, improvement ideas, suggestions, or you found something that you want to share with us, please leave a comment or drop us a note at info@taival.com. My guest today is an expert in the world of textile. I met him quite some time ago and we had many very interesting, very insightful discussions about textile. He has worked as a product manager, product development manager, and research coordinator. More recently, he has been the R&D and sustainability manager at REMA, which is also where we met some years back, as mentioned, and where we discussed circularity specifically in child clothing, but also in many other areas. Today, he is the Chief Sustainability Officer at Spinnova, a company that has developed breakthrough technology for making textile fiber out of wood or waste, such as leather, textile, or food waste, without harmful chemicals. He holds a PhD from the University of Oulu in Industrial Engineering and Management. And I'm really looking forward to jump into today's episode to discuss all of that. Thank you for joining me for the show today, Shahriare Mahmood.
It's a pleasure, Michael, always to join you and talk to you. As you rightly mentioned, we had many discussions around sustainability, around circularity, and many similar kind of topics. And as said, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Perfect. Great to have you. And I mean, to be honest, this is actually the second time we're recording this show,
exactly.
As we had, unfortunately, some technical hiccups the last time we did the recording. But, that just gives me a good excuse to extend the discussion and discuss about the topics that we had earlier in circularity, environmental sustainability. In
My
the
pleasure to be
industry.
here.
Good. Let's maybe kick it off. I mean, given your long experience in the textile industry, so how do you see the development towards sustainability and circularity? What's going well? Where do we have to put more focus? And where do you see good, bad, and indifferent developments?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we are in the middle of a huge transition especially in the textile industry or fashion industry. A lot is happening in the how to make the industry more greener, and it's in every level. It's in the product level, it's in the process level, in the value chain level, everywhere. Optimization from the footprint point of view, using better chemistry, etc. And of course, on the other hand, very recently, in the recent years, a lot of innovation and development is happening very specifically on the raw material side. If we want to make the thing sustainable, want to make a product circular, you have to really start it from the beginning, and you have to touch from the raw material level, and that's where a lot of things are happening, and a lot of alternatives are coming to the market. I would, as I am from the cellulosic fiber domain, I must say that especially on the cellulosic fiber side, and the innovation on that domain opens up a lot of opportunity, or I would say opening up a lot of opportunity as a replacement of natural fiber, as an alternative to natural fiber. We know that natural fiber or animal-based fiber, there are a lot of issues or challenges, environmental challenges, social challenges associated. So if we can get a good alternative, that would be wonderful for the planet. And here I would like to bring Spinnova, who has a great innovation that has a potential to change the industry. Spinnova, with its technology, we basically use the cellulose, wood-based raw material, and we have an innovation that can produce cellulosic fiber in a very mechanical way, which means that you don't use any chemical process, you literally don't use any water, and you don't produce any waste in the process, which means that it has a absolutely very, very low footprint on all the side, and Spinnova, as it is not chemically processed, it's not chemically modified, so it retains the originality of the cellulose, originality of the raw materials, and the raw material is similar to the other plant-based fiber raw material, which gives this so-called touch, feel, aesthetics like a natural fiber, and that's actually the industry is looking for. We had a lot of cellulosic fiber, synthetic fiber that we want to use as a replacement of, for example, cotton or similar kind of fibers, natural fibers. But we know the textile industry people that it's not a real alternative. But as I have the opportunity to work with Spinnova product, Spinnova fiber, I can really see that it has a true potential. And this is the raw material side, but on the process side also you will see a lot of innovation to greening the process. I mean, let's say if we take the wet processing, dyeing, finishing, and so on, there are a lot of good innovations are coming around. But what we can say in general level that there are a lot of bio-based innovation, which actually opening a lot of door. Interesting way to deal with the different kind of challenges we have, and but the main thing is that there are bits and pieces are happening here and there. Let's say something happening in the raw material side, something happening in the let's say dyeing and finishing side, something happening on the product level, etc. But I would like to have a more collaborative approach that can help actually scaling up the growth of the innovations and the future technologies that we really need now.
Absolutely, and I think what we've seen recently is a lot more discussion about the topic, a lot more awareness.
Yes.
Whereas in the past it was all about like fashion and fashion shows and basically getting the greatest and most up-to-date fashion trends into your closet. Now it's more about what impact does it have, and people are really considering that. So it's fantastic to hear about these trends. At the same time, I recently read an article outlining that the export of waste textiles has been increasing and that the quality is decreasing, which is a very concerning trend. Now, what do you think is driving this trend? While more and more people being aware, more and more people discussing it, still seeing these trends. And I mean, what do you think needs to happen? Because there's more and more companies, more and more brands making commitments and looking at these, while at the same time we see more and more of the negative behavior still happening.
Yeah. I think you're right into the spot. We probably knew that it is the eventuality of the fashion industry, the activities we are doing in the industry, in the whole value chain. That's not abnormal what we are seeing now. I think that its main problem is the overconsumption or what we are producing as a waste. That's really what you have mentioned, that the consumption has been growing significantly. Of course, there are many reasons. There are rising up the middle class in different part of the world. There are access to the fashion more and more, which has, of course, good side that we want that people have the access. But at the same time, I don't know if we have been able to also make them more concerned, more conscious about the consumption, because the lifetime of the textile has been decreased, and we know that why it is basically happening. We see that if you want to bring more and more product into the shop, it means that you are doing it with agility. You are making your value chain, your supply chain more agile. You are shrinking everything. It means that you probably not able to allowing enough time to produce the right quality product, because at the same time also there is a huge pressure on the price, the retail price. And then when you are producing a retail product with the low price, it means you are producing it cheaply. You are using a raw material from a very cheap raw material and so on. And we know very well, we don't need to be scientists to understand that if you want to make a good product, it could be a good food, but you need good raw material. If you do not have high quality raw material, you cannot get a high quality product. So I would say that for the future, we really need to think about in the textile industry. I think the most important challenge we have is the waste we are producing, and we know that there are a lot of talk, a lot of concern about the landfill, about the incineration of the textiles. But I think we can't just blame to a specific party like the consumers or the retailers or the producers. I think whole chain, the industry need to take the responsibility, and with these kind of new technologies, new innovations, we have a lot of possibility to reduce those. And very importantly, I think we really need to look for how can we turn the waste into real product. So for example, in case of Spinnova, if a Spinnova is used in a product, we can take back Spinnova's share and recycle it. We know there are a lot of other recycling technologies are there in the market, but I think this is not only from the raw material point of view. We also need to make the product more a timeless product, more the products that is more appealing for long term, not only for a short period of time. And of course, when you have a good quality raw material, it will already provide that durability. So combining all those things, I think we really need to look forward what has happened in the past, what is happening at the present. I think we shouldn't waste much time. There are a lot of opportunities with the innovations in every step of the textile processing, and we need to grab those and expedite their scaling up.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think it's what you mentioned. It's the coming together of innovative new solutions through startups or established companies. Aware customers who start to understand what's needed, aware companies that basically build more for the long term and basically almost design recycling, reuse, refurbish into their processes. And I think quite a few companies start to do that. Now, Spinnova has recently basically been receiving several recognition. Time Magazine's Best Innovations of 2022, 2022 Sustainability Reporting Competition in the SME category. What is the basis for that success? Because, I mean, there's a lot of innovation out there, as you said, and some are more successful than others when it comes to building that base, building that recognition, and building that scaling opportunity.
Absolutely. I think there are quite a few things behind achieving those recognition. It's not that only we have a great technology or innovation. Of course, that's our backbone almost. But there are several things like, of course, that we have got an innovation that already we have been able to prove that has a potential to change the industry, and basically when you look into the innovation, you will see that we are thinking in a very different way. Without using water, without using chemical process, you are producing a fiber. And basically using the same raw material, we are not changing the raw material base. We are, of course, using the wood pulp as a principal raw material at the moment, but we do have the potential to use some other raw material like agri-waste, textile waste. What we have done several proof of concepts, and we know that it's working. We will put more effort on different kind of raw materials. So about the innovation. Then if you come to the product, it is already shown to the market, to our brand partners, that it has a true potential to be a replacement of what the industry is looking for. For example, if you do not want to use cotton, it is very difficult to find a replacement for cotton. Yeah, it's a nice fiber as a product. It's a nice fiber. It produces nice product. I would like to use that, but if you don't want to use cotton, you really need a replacement. And Spinnova has a real potential on the product level to provide as a good alternative. And then as a company, Spinnova, we have been listed as a publicly listed company. Then we have been able to communicate enough to our partners, with our stakeholders, that we are going for the commercialization, and we are at the moment living in a very excited time of getting ready of our first commercial scale plant. So that's actually a big leap. And a very high level of validation of our technology. And as an organization, we have been able to we have been producing our first ESG report in the first year of the IPO. That's for a small scale company, and at that time we were literally a startup. So for such scale of company, Michael, very well that it's not so easy job, and when you are getting such kind of recognition that you had got the best award of for your report, I think nothing can be better than that. But I would say that we have extremely good setup. We have a extremely nice innovation. We have extremely nice product. Of course, there are many product will be coming in the future, but at least at the product we are dealing, we have the capable people. And I would say that world-class experts in the company in almost every area. So I don't see any reason that why we will not go forward.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, my outside perception, and we've been discussing a lot, but also I've been following Spinnova now for a while, through the different social media channels and all of that. It feels like an honest company. It feels that it's not about like making the quick money and an exit and then basically running, but it's really about having an impact, changing the industry. It feels that it's honest and passionate. And I think that is something that people recognize and also appreciate in today's world, where very often it still is about greenwashing. It still is about making the big statements, but then not following them through with the real action. Now, related to that, Spinnova has launched a lot of new partnerships over the past couple of months and year with a lot of really well-known brands. Where is the company going next? What are the parameters of success from your point of view?
Yeah, I think you have been rightly mentioning that we are here to change the industry. Yeah. It's not the commercial success. Also, we wanted to change the raw material base of the fashion industry, and you have been mentioning about the partnerships we had lately, and last couple of years continuously we are partnering with known brands globally, and these are the validation of our innovation, of our product, that such kind of brands like Adidas, Bestseller, Orchid, Marimekko, Bergans, they are launching the product, proves that Spinnova fiber is usable in the commercial application. This is just not the prototype launch.
Yeah.
This has been already in the market, so that it is reachable to consumers already, and of course many is waiting to be launched, because we are working with many different R&D projects. Well, I wouldn't say anymore R&D, it's more like a continuing those what we have been launching so far. And yes, these are extremely important partnerships for us, and for the acceptability of this new technology, new product to the industry. And we also need to remember that these are we see in the surface those launches, but a lot is happening on the back end. It's our own R&D. Then we are doing a lot with the industrial partners. To let know the industry that there is a new fiber, there is a new product, and how to deal with it, and so on. So we have been doing it, taking the Spinnova fiber and basically doing it in a very conventional setup. So we are making the yarn, we are making the fabrics in a very conventional setup. Of course, we are fine-tuning, but we don't. For Spinnova, you don't need to have a separate setup to produce further the product. And but of course, when we now had the validation by the retailers, by the brands, and then also in the back end in the industry, textile industry, I think people are expecting that. We have seen the proof of concept part is done, so people are expecting that. Now when we will go in large scale. So that's what we are. What we are actually working on. As I mentioned, the first commercial scale plant is already there, to be opened very soon. And at the same time, as we have been communicating earlier also, that our aim is to produce 1 million tons of Spinnova fiber in a decade. So that's what we are aiming for.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. It has to be drop in. You don't. Big textile companies will not change their whole production just for one new fiber, one new material. So it has to be drop in. It has to be easy, and that's naturally takes convincing. And I'm absolutely sure there's a lot of work going on in the background before the fancy launch can happen on social media and through the different other channels. Now. And so your success, as well as the success of the whole industry transformation, is relying on the customers and the acceptance of the customers. Now, what we're seeing in a lot of the projects we're involved in the textile industry is that many companies, many professionals tell us, while sustainability and circularity is a topic and people are talking about it and it's being discussed, consumers remain skeptic, very price sensitive, and still follow fashion trends. Specifically, when you look at the younger generation, that's naturally what they do. They want to follow these trends. Now, how can we change those behavioral patterns? How can we drive sustainable consumption in the fashion industry from your point of view, from your experience? There are. I think we have already in the beginning of our discussion we mentioned about that the increasing graph of consumption, and that's definitely related to this point. And we have seen a lot of changes happening on the positive direction and also in the negative direction. We have seen a lot of sustainable technology innovations are coming, but at the same time, as we been discussing, that the trend of overconsumption is also growing in different parts of the world. But I think the leadership should be taken by the industry. We need to educate the consumers, getting them used to and making the sustainable product accessible. And when in this level we are discussing about a new innovation, it is, let's say we are discussing today about the Spinnova's innovation. You can discuss with some other innovations around, but it is in this level. How much consumers
No. For example, you are launching a product in a shop. Let's say we have launched a product with Adidas. It's in the shop. They will see it in the tag that, okay, there is a Spinnova fiber. How much actually we are able to communicate? I mean, how they will understand the value of it. They don't know nothing about the innovation. Of course, if they want to dig it in through our website, communicating and so on, that's a different question. But we are talking here about the mass consumer.
Exactly.
So to you, when I'm discussing a lot, it excites you.
Yeah.
But is it excites the same level to the consumer? So we I think as an industry need to, I think, more educate and to communicate to the consumers that why you should adopt a new fiber, let's say in case of Spinnova. And if the retail price is higher from the retailer of brand point of view, then it is justified if you are able to communicate it rightly. And I think that it's from the retailer side, from the innovator side, from the consumer side. But I think we need a combined approach, but where the governments, retailers, and brands, investors, all I think taking a leap there. To scaling up the sustainable technologies, to make the product commercially accessible, especially in the early stage. We know that the innovative products are naturally very higher in the price, and it can be the price can be more going slowly down when it's scaling up. Its volume is higher and so on. But in this level, in the beginning, to educate also, we need to be aware that to communicating with the consumers, and when a product is reached to the consumer, I think we really know that it's not saying that it's containing Spinnova, but what it is basically helping. I mean. That okay, when a consumer is buying this product, he or she can feel that I am contributing in reducing X percentage of carbon emission or X percentage of water, let's say. So that's I think we need to create more excitement on that level. Yeah.
No, I fully agree. And you mentioned how the different stakeholders, different parties need to work together. I mean, it's I think as much about educating kids already in school about what it is, what we're talking about, biodiversity, fresh water, climate change, all of these topics, and how they can contribute to a solution and why they should do that in the first place. It's the regulator coming in with basically setting the frame, enabling companies to be innovative, to bring in new innovations into the mass market, so to say. But it's also then companies, employees, and investors who basically need to look at that. So, as they say, it takes a village to make that change at the end of the day. Now, talking about the regulator, the EU is working on legislation introducing a digital product passport for textile and the electronics industry. This requires an in-depth understanding of the end-to-end value chain, as well as technological solutions that enable that transparency. Now, where do you see the biggest challenges and opportunities from Spinnova point of view, but also from the broader industry point of view? And what would that mean to create that end-to-end transparency across the value chain?
Yeah, I think we have talked a lot about the challenges, so let's talk about the opportunity. I think it's a great initiative, and it's. I think the base is the transparency here. We are lacking the transparency. I think it's in many cases we see that, for example, if you are wearing a cotton T-shirt, from where the cotton is coming from. So you would like to know about that, and that's transparency. I think can make the consumers more aware, make them more like a conscious consumer. if you need to provide them the opportunity to be a conscious consumer. So this tool, I'm sure, will be able to or enable that. And then if we see that how lovely it will be that you know that from the crop field or the oil extraction field, or if you do the recycling, from which recycle hub you are getting the fiber, then up to the shop floor, you have all the information. A consumer have all the information. That will, I think, clarify a lot of things. Especially who are putting on the effort on the sustainability, they will have better leverage, because I think we do not have a consensus on the term sustainability. That what is a sustainable product basically it means. So someone probably has a element of sustainability. Let's say a recycled fiber in their product. I don't know, maybe let's say 20% or 10% or something. You are already claiming it's sustainable product, but someone has been putting so much effort, let's say making a product by using Spinnova fiber. So can you are basically putting both into the sustainable product basket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really I think we can differentiate through this kind of tool that which one is real sustainable to really promote the sustainable products, and the companies, brands, retailers who are even in the value chain also, who are putting the effort on the sustainability. We have really a possibility to promote it and to convert it to business.
That's a very good point, and I mean, sustainability is such a broad topic. Even if you narrow it down, it still has so many different aspects. Some of them contradicting each other. If you optimize your product, your service, or your company according to climate change targets, you might actually be very bad in biodiversity targets or freshwater targets, or even diversity and social targets, let alone. So, fully see your point there. So, and there are some developments ongoing, but transparency will definitely drive into the right direction. I mean, I know, if I look at myself, I now go into the fruit and vegetable department and I look from where is a fruit coming. So if the apple is coming from around the world, I'm most likely more willing to put it down than if I say I have no idea where it comes from and I just pick it up. So the same will most likely happen here. And
you rightly mentioned one point that perhaps you are reducing the footprint on the carbon side, but it has an effect on the biodiversity side. Yes. So there is a clear balance needed. I think we just can't claim a product sustainable just based on carbon footprint is good, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, if let's dream. So if you have a magic wand that would allow you 3 wishes. I mean, let's go with the traditional 3 wishes that you have in many children's stories as well. I mean, what would be the 3 things you would change in the textile industry today?
Yeah. Very difficult. I stopped dreaming. If I would be a child, of course, I would be dreaming more. But yeah, now you have been opening up this opportunity to dream again, and I'm just thinking now what could be my three best wishes. I think, as I am from this field, from the sustainable innovation field, I would like to see all these green innovations are scaled up, and we are really taking advantage of those green innovations, so that it's really have an effect in reducing the footprint, carbon footprint, water footprint, all those kind of challenges we have. And then I would like to see also from the chemistry point of view, I think if you see the water pollution, if you see the air pollution, most of those are impacted by the by the use of chemicals, by the use of processes, and of course chemical processes. So I would make everything with green chemistry, all the products. And when you are getting a product, it could be an apparel product, it could be any other product. But typically we have in the baby products we have a very strict requirement. I would like to see all products are matching the stricter baby product requirements, and then I think very importantly for the future, for the betterment of our planet, I would like to put every product and process into circular loop. That it is matching with the theme of the circularity by closing the loop and so on, both from the product wise and process wise, and that will kind of not produce any additional environmental burden.
Perfect. So the coffee is empty.
Coffee is already empty.
It's time to wrap up, unfortunately. Thanks a lot, Shahriare, for
my pleasure.
Joining me today. It was, as always, a pleasure and really insightful. Great new ideas. I could continue for, I think, another half hour easily. So that's now time to wrap up the Circular Coffee Break. If you have any comments, ideas, suggestions, please let us know. Leave a comment in your favorite podcast app or send us a note at info@taival.com. Also, please remember to subscribe to stay in the loop. New episodes will drop every 2 weeks, and we have a long list of really exciting guests coming up. So if you like today's discussion, I'm sure you will definitely enjoy the discussions that will be coming up going forward. With that, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you here on the Circular Coffee Break.